Welcome, gamers, to this bit of an expose, I guess, on Galactic Civilizations 4, which, as you'll see in the bottom corner through, and also on here, this is version 0.77 beta. So it's now it's gone out of the alpha phase and into the beta phase. The beta phase opens up a lot of the other factions for actual gameplay, and I haven't covered Galactic Civilizations 4 at all. I've only literally just got it within the last couple of days. Now, what I wanted to do was to probably just sort of show what the game is like. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. It really is a beautiful looking game. And also, look, it's got a good pedigree of developers in behind it. You know, you've got like Brad Wardell, the CEO of Stardock himself, is sort of heavily involved in the game. Derek Paxton, if you remember Kale from back in the modding days of Civilization 4, was it? I think with the Fall from Heaven, was that the mod? Fall from Heaven 2. Anyway, incredible modder, and has been working at Stardock Games for, God, it must be over a decade now, I think. Anyway, Derek actually came in and sort of really resurrected the Elemental game, and then that's where Fallen Enchantress then came out of that involvement. So Derek's been very, very heavily involved in the development. I think he's the lead developer on this game, which is great. I mean, they've got a really good pedigree. Brad Wardell, extremely good at sort of working through the AIs, over periods of time. Like, it doesn't, and I don't know what the AI is like at this point in time in the game. I would assume that will just get better and better and better as it goes towards release. So I won't be playing much of this game. I just wanted to sort of show what it looks like, what it's got, where it sits, and I probably want to talk a little bit about how that sort of works before I really get into it as well. Invariably, gamers will be trying to, they'll play either Stellaris, GalCiv, or Distant Worlds. They tend to be sort of from those sorts of pedigrees. And all three games play very, very differently. And I think it's sort of unfair on all three games to compare them with the other two. And that's certainly the case here with Galactic Civilizations. Now, are there things with Galactic Civilizations that I wish were in the game? Absolutely. For me, the big failing of Galactic Civilizations, and with all Galactic Civilizations variants, have been the real lack of tactical combat and tactical iteration. Now, this is still in beta. I don't know if we're going to get any sort of tactical aspect to the actual game. Wouldn't it be awesome to have a Galactic Civilizations 4 game that had the same sort of of tactical battle sense as, for example, Age of Wonders, like the Age of Wonders Planetfall. If they could do that in space, my God, this would be good. It would be just such a mind-blowingly good game. But I don't think that tactical combat is coming to the game. I haven't played any of this, by the way, so I am talking out of my arse a little bit here. But it's the one aspect about Galactic Civilizations that I've really missed when I've played the other games. Well, Stellaris also doesn't really have much in the way of tactical combat either. I mean, you have a little bit there. Nothing like, for example, Distant Worlds is very much a single-player game, so they don't need to try to push the pacing along. So Distant Worlds is really in an area on its own, being pretty much just a single-player game where balance isn't important, which for me is actually a really positive thing to not have balance, because you don't know what's going to come. Whereas these games that are more multiplayer focused, like Stellaris and Galactic Civilizations, you end up then with something that is going to be more, it's got to be more balanced. So otherwise, multiplayer aspects, it would become too difficult to sort of really have an enjoyable game from multiplayer. Now, I personally don't really like multiplayer games, so for me, single player is all I really am interested in with these big 4X games, Stellaris and that included. But they are there built for, they're there with multiplayer in mind. And as I say, I prefer games that have got more of the single player, where they don't really have to then try to get that balance and that speed, I guess, with what goes on. So quite often the speed aspect will be pushed along at the expense of tactical battles, which is why I think there's no tactical battles in the game. I really wish that there was. I think this game would absolutely shine with that, because it looks, as I say, it's a stunningly good looking game. This, from my understanding of what Galactic Civilizations 4 is really going to be bringing, it's going to be bringing the same sort of mechanics that it's always had, which I think is great. I don't think that these games should sort of bridge too far away from where they had started, in the sense that you don't want to be making the mistake of Master of Orion between version 2 and 3 of Master of Orion, where they change way too much in version 3, and at the expense of the game, and basically destroyed the franchise at that point in time, I believe. So in this case, this is looking very much like your standard Galactic Civilizations, which I do really like. But what they've really focused on in this particular version, is my understanding anyway, is that there's much more role play. So I think of the 3 big games, like, as I say, Distant Worlds, Stellaris, and Galactic Civilizations, this is going to be much more of like a, it's almost a Sims version of a Space 4X, which I'm looking forward to, actually, to be honest. This is an aspect that I am looking forward to. So let's go and start a new game. Oh, by the way, this is only available at this moment on the Epic Game Store. So if you're waiting for the Steam version, I've got no idea when that will come out. I'm assuming that there's some sort of deal that's been done between Stardock and Epic Game Store as to how long they will then actually be just giving exclusive to Epic Game Store. So many of the games are done that way. They tend to have like a long period where they're either going just through beta on the Epic Game Store, and then when it goes to release, it goes everywhere. Sometimes they even have like a period of time after release before it hits the Steam store. Now, I'm hoping that when this one does get to version 1, like the release version, that at that point it will then open up across, you'll have it in your GOG stores, your Steam stores, and of course also in the Epic Game Store as well. But I don't know what the deal is. I did actually ask the question, but I haven't heard back. I don't think I will hear back, to be honest, because often those sorts of decisions are kept very tight. So I don't think that we'll know. Actually, sometimes the developers will tell you, no, it won't be coming for Steam, for 12 months after launch or something like that. So I got no idea what the deal actually is there. But I know that both Paradox and Stardock, now Stardock with Galactic Civilizations 4, often have some of their titles go through the Epic Game Store like that. So anyway, that's just the way that goes. So if you are not into the Epic Game Store for whatever reason, I know that some people, I prefer the simplicity of everything just through Steam personally. I've got nothing against the Epic Game Store, but that's just, I like to have everything on Steam so I can sort of see it all there in one place. If you're in that category and you're not really sort of, the waiting some time doesn't bother you, then I would suggest that, it will come to Steam at some point. I just don't know when, or I assume it will come to Steam at some point. So anyway, let's go in and start a new game, and we'll have a bit of a look at everything. So I won't play much of this. I am actually, at this point in time, I've got a very limited window to record Distant Worlds content, but this has literally just come across my desk in the last couple of days. And when I opened it up, I was just blown away by how beautiful the game actually did look. And I wanted to share that because this is quite exciting. And to say the only negative I have about the game really is the lack of tactical combat. And I hope that they really, that they bring that into the game. It's in some way, just make some way to make the tactical battles more meaningful. And I could be completely wrong about that because I haven't really had a good look in. I've been searching everywhere to get some information about what the plans are for tactical battles, but I can't find anything online. So anyway, new game. See how, it really does look great. With what they've actually sort of got through here. The graphics, in terms of the 3D work, looks awesomely good. Very high detail. The user interface, beautiful user interface. One of the best I've sort of seen in these sort of games, to be honest. It just feels fresh. And all the way through, everything I've sort of seen in the short amount I have played looks amazingly good. So, and this is where the citizens and leaders will now. You could have your enemies inside your own empire now. So this is really where the major focus of GalCiv 4 is is the interaction that you now have with your leaders. And so with this particular beta phase, we actually have most of the factions here are now playable. Some aren't actually. Actually, no, they all are. I thought there was some the other day when I had a look that weren't playable. Anyway, we'll just go back to the humans for a second. And so what we're sort of seeing through here, and again, just the user interface, it really is just amazingly good. It's very easy with Galactic Civilizations as well to actually build your own. Now, they don't have that at the moment. This is coming soon, Custom Civilization. So I'm really looking forward to that because I made one for GalCiv 3 called the Dazbots, which was like a robotic force that I created for myself. And so I'll, of course, resurrect them for the game and do a video on how to basically sort of mod civilizations back in there yourself, with your own graphics, etc. So I will resurrect the Dazbots. They will return. at some point in the distant future, I would guess. And also we can't just get a random civilization, but now all of the playable civilizations are here. Now I'm really happy because the Snathi are nowhere to be seen. I found them ridiculous. They were sort of like cutesy like this one here. And when I saw this one, I thought, oh no. But the Snathi were the most aggressive faction with the most ridiculous, fluffy sort of look to them. And that disconnect I really, really struggled with. So I'm really happy to not see the Snathi here at all. And I don't know if they'll come, but the Snathi were my most hated faction, and I love playing as them, but the look of them really, really annoyed me. Like it was sort of like the disconnect visually to what they played like, and it was fun to play as them. Just that visual disconnect really, really bothered me. Whereas now we're sort of seeing all sorts of different, really fleshed out factions, and we'll sort of see through here we've got like abilities, ideologies, and biology in through here as well. And so we go across to each one of these. So you've got like this is Ravenous, so receives extra credits and approval for 25 turns after conquering a planet. So this thing it also grants the ability to consume aliens and spawn new Festron citizens. So this is the Festron hunt. I've never seen this one before in the game, but this one feels good. Like it's sort of there attached to the ceiling of its ship. And all of these factions, including the cutesy one, work from what I can sort of see through here. Unrelenting, so plus 10 control. Planets generate plus 1 more influence per turn. These all look like really good fun to play. So they love aquatic worlds. They receive a large approval bonus when they are on them, and a slight penalty when they aren't. So the citizens are now majorly important in this version of the game, which before they were just numbers, and you would just slot them around like most strategy games. They were sort of pops where they may or may not be sort of happy with the taxation, but whereas now it's so much deeper and goes so much further than that as you sort of get into the game. So the role play aspect between the actual leaders that you end up with and the decisions you want to make could be wildly different. That's my understanding of how the game will sort of then play out, and that's very exciting. I've got to say that aspect is really, really interesting. I just wish that there was tactical combat in amongst that. Okay, so then we've got you get a colony ship, survey ship. Most of them will actually have that one through there. Pragmatism, so believes that the greatest empire is achieved by empowering the strong and purging the weak. And biology, these are aquatics. So you've got this another new one that I haven't seen before. It looks like a kids show on TV from the 90s. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of something. It looks good. It does look good. So these are the archaeologists in through here. Whenever artifact changes are earned, an additional charge is gained. Starfaring, so plus 50% ship range, starts with the ability to detect and travel on subspace streams. So again, very, very different feel between the different sorts of factions. Navigator society is built around investing in the wonders of the universe, often at the exclusion of everything else. Their high intelligence makes them the best scientists in the galaxy. So anyway, it's the Navigators. That's their actual name in through here. So I guess a bit almost like the 1980s Dune show where they actually had the big floating thing. It looks a little bit like this, I guess, inside the spice tank. Anyway, the next one here. This is the one that I was most worried about. So these are the Mermont Brotherhood, but it works. And so even though it's really cutesy, the whole idea with these is that they essentially strip mine the galaxy. So an average race with an above average growth rate, they'll quickly overwhelm planets and consume all available food. So it's just this is purely about growth and expansion. So they're fertile. Starts with 2 additional workers and population grows 25% faster. Proliferation. When a ship is constructed, 2 ships are constructed instead, but all ships have minus 25% hit points. It makes sense. I don't mind this. I don't mind the cute look for something that operates in this sort of way. This is your space hobbits, I guess. And if you sort of know me from any of my games, I tend to really dislike playing as hobbits because I find them overpowered. But this is how hobbits should be. This is how hobbits should be made, where they have advantages but not strength advantages. Ideology is liberty, so an advocate and defender of liberty and freedom. This is cool. I like the look of this. I probably wouldn't be looking keen to playing as them, but I like the feel of this. So this is actually looking good. Then we've got like factions like this one here, where we've got the Zolosi, or the Zoloxi, are almost perfectly self-interested. There's no system of morality beyond the simple truth that an individual could seek their own maximum benefit. They find other civilization systems of law hilariously quaint and misguided. So these are the real estate agents of the universe. I shouldn't say that. Anyway, I will apologise for that comment. Well, the used car salesman of the universe, one of the two. They're the warriors. Okay, so ignore 10% of all damage done to their ships. All weapons have 10% longer range. That's pretty cool. They're crime lords. They start allied with the pirates. Also grants access to the look the other way policy and improvements unlocked by increased crime. So they actually are very much crime focused. Opportunity is their ideology. So believes that a society is best served by allowing individuals to excel, even if that leaves others behind. This looks like a fun faction to play. So they have few redeeming qualities. If by was it the Orion Syndicate from Star Trek? That reminds me very much of the Orion Syndicate, even the colour schemes, I guess. If by few you mean none, their culture rewards strong action, and concerns like ethics or compassion were lost long ago. Every Zoloxi is a criminal and generates crime. There we go. And then we've got some of the old favourites, the Arcean Republic. This one believes in harmony. These were cool, actually, in GalCiv 3. I used to like playing as these. They were great. Stoic nature makes them unlikely to be ideological. So they can sort of have different ideologies, but that's what they are. Here's the old Drengans. And so I was looking for the additional Drengan ones. So there was the Drath. No, Drath was different again. I forget what the secondary version of the Drengans were. I guess that will come in the future at some point. And so these are slavers, authority-based, believes that a strong government is crucial for a galactic empire. Unrelenting again as well. So similar, I think, to this one. Yeah, unrelenting in through there as well. So these are basically their abilities. They have a high resistance and aptitude to becoming strong soldiers. Drengan have no approval penalty for living on undefended worlds. They defend themselves. There we go. So a very aggressive, sort of almost like a Klingon sort of style faction in through here. So we've got a few Star Trek sort of feel to things. Then we have the Altaran Republic, which is all based around cooperation, believes that there is strength in cooperation and patience. These are philosophical with the way that they sort of do work. Again, I think this would be a fun one to play with the way that the game is now sort of pushing this almost like the Aes Sedai. If you watched The Wheel of Time, or if you've read the Wheel of Time books, it's sort of like the Aes Sedai but in space, where they do actually have this ideology of cooperation, but there would be a lot of interesting undercurrents, I would think, in that sort of between the different sorts of characters that would then come through with that more role play aspect of the game. So I'm really looking forward to playing as them. I think that would be quite an interesting one to actually role play. We've got the good old Yor. So they're back in here, the robots, adaptable, unwavering, and synthetic. So we've got our first synthetic life form. And so when I do build the Dazbots, they'll be built very much on the Yor model. We've got ourselves the Taurian regime. I never liked these in GalCiv 1, GalCiv 2. I've played GalCiv ever since it first came out. It's been a game I really have enjoyed over the years. I never really liked them, except when in GalCiv 3, I liked the way that they were fleshed out. Like they seemed to sort of, they were a bit of a enigma, the way that they sort of did play, and I did enjoy, like they were difficult to have near you in GalCiv 3. So I'm interested to see how they actually also come through into GalCiv 4. Again, probably not a faction I'd be all that keen to play. This one looks crazy, the Manti cluster, but it sort of works, like paranoid. So free drones defend planets, shipyards and star bases, and allows access to the molecular fabrication technologies, and they are warriors, which is interesting as well. Maybe these are the Snathi of this world, but I don't. It doesn't feel like the Snathi. It's looking much more unstable just in the way it sort of works. It does have harmony. It believes that this government is strongest when everyone shares a single culture and belief. So maybe a bit of a hive mind in through here. And they are aquatic as well. So there we go. We've got a bit of an aquatic world. We've got ourselves the old Kryn Syndicate is back in through here as well. Citizens can be any species in the galaxy with all the strengths and weaknesses. This was a fun one to play. These ones are devout, so starts with a cleric citizen and a Kinric temple on their homeworld. Culture grows every time they add to their ideology. Bureaucrats as well. Starts the game with 50 control and access to the coordination technologies. Interesting. Again, I think this will be a really fun one to play. So this could be a really cool playthrough, playing the Kryn Syndicate. I'm getting really excited about this, what this game is bringing from this role-play aspect. It really feels good. It feels so much better than GalCiv 3, just in terms of the... even though it's similar, I really can see the role-play aspect really kicking in here. Then we have, of course, the Iconian Refuge, so servants of the precursors and one of the first races to reach the stars. These are involved in secrecy, believe that secrets are a crucial part of the successful empire. They're xenophobic, back in through here, research doubled, and minus 75% influence and the ability to build the Dream Conclave achievement. They're paranoid. This looks fun as well. It looks so damn good. It looks so damn good. And just the animation, the immersion looks fantastic. So well done, Stardock, for what I'm seeing here. This is very exciting indeed. The Drath Freehold, these were fun as well. Mysterious creatures who love to move in the shadows. The Drath are masters of subterfuge and manipulation. So war profiteers receive 200% bonus from trade routes established with warring races, and ancient, so it gets research from precursor artifacts. Again, I'm just sort of, as I'm reading this stuff, I'm imagining a role-play system where that is sort of central to having very diverse characters trying to interact within your own government. I think that I really am going to have to do a deep dive into this pretty soon, I would think. Probably after Distant Worlds. My Distant Worlds sort of preview has sort of expired. It might be time to really have a really good look at GalCiv 4. Now that we've got so much open here, I don't know what I would want to play, to be honest. They all look amazing. I've got a couple there that I wouldn't play. I'd probably play one of the more like the newer factions. Would be cool. Anyway, well, maybe not actually. I'm looking back here. I really think that this could end up being a fun role play, even though it's going to be fairly peaceful. Anyway, we'll have a bit of a think. We have in the corporate sector. So here we go. This will be fun to role play again with the traders, the wealthy as well, like starting with more credits and the opportunity. This is your mercantile guilds. So they really are about trade, and I guess in that sense, you can imagine sort of the backstabbing and so on and so forth with that one through there. Then we have the Onyx Hive, technology sophisticated worm-like species. So, they do look a bit like the worms. What was it? It was just worms. Yeah, the old game Worms. So this is worms that has now evolved into space. Anyway, I love that game. I love playing Worms. Promethean, so ships have double the normal hit points, but don't heal normally. Okay, so this is one thing where we sort of, this would be interesting. It'd be strong. Quality believes that the government should pursue what serves the most citizens at the expense of the individual. This is silicon-based, okay. Built on rock. Cool. And we have a plant-based one as well. This is carbon-based, but it's intuitive. Starts with free research. Spores, starts with the ability to deploy spores to 3 dead worlds to restore life. So these are your plant-based life form. The Baratak are stout citizens who require very little to be content, but they are sensitive. Is that spelled correctly? I thought it was an E there. To pollution, and won't be happy or healthy or heavily populated on heavily populated worlds. Again, what I've been reading through what I've seen of the game, and with the reading of the actual game itself, I'm very impressed because it really is. It's not verbose, and it's not weak either. It really reads very, very well, and I don't know. I don't know how they've sort of approached that, but I'd love to have been a fly on the wall, just trying to figure out with them trying to figure out the best way to communicate things for each actual faction. So there's a lot of care being put. It doesn't look like it's much, but I do really appreciate this. I appreciate that when I see well-written descriptions and things like that. It can really add a lot to a game. Then finally we have this one as well. This is the Terran Resistance. So these are a portion of humanity that wasn't trapped on Earth behind the precursor shield. Years on the run have made them resourceful and hard, and formed a schism with the rest of humanity, which might take some time to heal. So these are a very different sort of humanity. These are resourceful, starts with some useful resources, unrelenting. They do actually have creativity, believes that the government will only succeed by the constant production and efforts of its citizens. So I guess these are like the, if you've watched the show, the excellent show, The Expanse. In The Expanse, these are your, what are they called? The ones that live out in the asteroid belt. Belters. These are like your belters from that, I would imagine. Yeah, so it's still got the same citizens. Like if you go right the way back up to the humans up through here again, we're seeing sort of like the citizens are the same in through here, but they just have different ideologies and the way of actually sort of working. What should we have a look at? I mean, I just sort of start. I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to sort of go with full-on pirates or anything like that. Just to have a bit of a look. And I won't play much of the actual game itself. I mean, it's nearly half an hour now, and we've only been having a bit of a look. But I do want to have a. Maybe we'll start. I mean, I'm intrigued by how the role play, and we won't see much of that at this early start. But let's just go this way. Just go customize. I still can change things a little bit if I wanted to. Civilization traits. I don't have any points in here to spend, but I could actually go back and sort of change things. But I'll just keep everything the way it actually has been set up. So let's not change that one too much. Oh, I should show off also, of course, the builder, like the actual ship builder for the game. Again, it's the same sort of ship builder from previous versions, but just, again, taken up another complete notch, and just what can actually happen through here. We can, of course, should be able to change the colours and things, I guess, at some point. I'm not sure how much we can personalise this at this point in time. But, again, as you know, there's so much customisation you can do in this game. Is it the most customisable Space 4X? I don't know. It's... certainly Stellaris would be up there as well, I would think. But this is looking very, very, very good. These like tropical worlds. We'll go customize the galaxy, and so you can have like different sectors in through here, starting sector size, how large the star clusters that players should start in, star frequency, occasional. I don't know how much of this we now have open to us. This is interesting. Recommended system, so memory 8 gigabytes with 2 CPU cores. So I guess if I change the number of sectors, yeah, it's looking like it's wanting. This is cool. I've never seen this in a game. Now I do have 8 cores available if I wanted to play on a massive game, but let's not do that in here. We'll just go back to a small game. But that's cool. Like to have the ability to sort of control that as well. I'll leave all those where they are. Leave all these where these are just by default. I did actually turn this off when I was just having a bit of a look before. I mean, by default, you've got tech trading. I'll leave it on. So let's just go and go to opponents. Now we can sort of chop and change who we actually have coming in through here. I'm guessing that there will be a random. Yeah, there's a random aspect through there as well. Now, one thing that I used to dislike, I always used to playing with random, not knowing what was going to be in there, but then somehow making sure that the Snaffy weren't part of that random faction, which I don't know if we can do that. There's teams, yeah, and then we've got the opponent intelligence there as well. Let's not worry about that. Let's just leave it like with what we're sort of seeing through here. So we'll start the game and have a bit of a look. I don't know what this is supposed to represent. It's weird. It's weird. It's animating as it goes. Now, so this is the Altaran Republic. I won't go through all of this one through here, but you can sort of have a bit of a read through that. As I say, the text isn't dominating the gameplay, but it's also not ridiculously bad either. So it's sort of one of those things where I really like the text that I've read in the game so far. Just click on done, and I did turn on the grid. So the game by default starts without the grid on, but I really do like the grid on with these sorts of games because this is definitely played on the hex grid. So I'll just put that one back on through there. It makes it easier to sort of tell what's actually going on through this particular sides. So I won't be playing much more than what we have already just had a bit of a look at through here, but what I did want to have a look at, these are our advisors. So we've got this particular advisor is then saying that we should colonize this particular world. This is a class 23, an amazing world. Okay, well that definitely is what we want to be doing. So we would go down to, this is a colony ship back in through this side. So we would just go and right click. So it's very similar to GalCiv 3 in that regard, but doesn't it look beautiful? With what we're sort of seeing, that's as far in as we can actually zoom in. But the maps do look so much better than GalCiv 3. What have we got in through here? This is a manufacturing relic. So the gameplay is not dramatically different from what I can sort of see with this. Even the look of it looks similar, but just much higher resolution, which, as I say, I'm sort of happy with. This is a scout ship. Yeah, there's no special abilities in through here. I'll just go and tell it to auto-explore. So off you go. It will just go and do its own thing and just see what it can find in the actual galaxy itself. So it will start to explore the actual galaxy. You can see it's not a very big galaxy that we're actually playing in. If I sort of zoom right back, this is the galaxy size that we actually are playing in. So quite a small one. Again, this is much more of a strategic game. It's not designed to be played for, like for hundreds of hours. Some strategy games can be really designed to go that way. This is not in that sort of category. So we are doing that one. Order the shipyard to construct a new colony ship. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. Isn't this beautiful? Like this is like it's the same sort of feel of the same designs that we sort of saw before, but it just looks awesomely good. Just awesomely good. Very detailed. Again, it's actually, we're looking inside the actual the port, the spaceport. So we'll build this ship in through here. We'll just go click on. I won't spend any real detailing through here. So we'll just go and build the ship. Okay, and just click on done. That should be assign a leader to an available commander ship. Now, I did have trouble with this, and I didn't spend much time with the game. I'm going to need to sort of spend some time before I do things. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got in through this side. So we've got commanders, assigned leaders. Now we don't have any unassigned leaders at this point in time, so we can't assign them to various sort of ships. So that's not really going to. So assign leaders to ships by dragging and dropping to spawn the ship by your homeworld. Commanders cannot be reassigned. So these are the different ships they can go into, where they actually have their own sort of like little command ship. But we don't have any unassigned leaders, so that's not going to sort of work. So anyway, we'll just leave that one off at the side, but they keep on sort of wanting that one through there. I can right click and get rid of it. Here we go. Send the ARS flash of insight to survey nearby anomalies. So this is essentially our survey ship. This particular ship in through this side. So I can tell it to go and do different things like just auto survey. It will then just go off and look for things. Didn't get to that artifact. So next turn it will get to the artifact. Yep, so we've got that one. We're working on that one. Select a new policy to enact. And so this is, I think, where the game will start to sort of shine. Now, depending on the faction, you probably just start off with one of them in through here. You do have control over your tax rate. We do have general approval. We can sort of start to improve, to push these up. But the approval is 70%. I'll just leave that where that is. I won't go into any real depth in through this side. But it does not look great. The user interface really looks smart. It really looks smart. Now, it was a big game to load into the computer, and it's interesting to actually have such a large game that doesn't actually have a lot of, any real voiceover that I can sort of see. So there's no voices in the game, and I don't mind it doesn't have any voices by any means, but when I saw the size of the game coming in, I thought, wow, there must be a hell of a lot of voice content. And one problem I have with voice content, voiceovers in these sorts of games, is that you then know that most of it is then scripted, and I prefer these games to actually be fairly random in what does come up and have like really wide range of what you can actually then do. And this is looking that way. So we've got these are the available policies we can put into these different things. So select an available policy on the right to enact. So we've got coerced colonization. I won't spend any real depth in through here. Let's just go to heritage protection. I don't know what that does. And land exploitation. Let's just go and pop both of those in through there. So we're going to get like different pollution will go up, but we'll get better income. Just click on done. Colonize farming worlds to generate more farms, says this particular advisor. Yep, well, we're not going to be doing that at this stage. The advisors have now finished. So we then have what's next, which is going to be the research. We'll have a quick look at these and through here. I don't know if we can see the full tree. Okay, so what do we want to do? Focus on civilization. Focus on engineering. This is cool again. It just looks nice, doesn't it? It does look nice. And focus on governance. I think governance, or maybe actually, maybe the colonization would be the better way to go. Like asteroid mining. Yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine to do this one. Now, do we get? How can we see? Oh, technology library. Here we go. I haven't looked at this at all, so just wanted to get a bit of a feel for what this one actually does have. Actually, we're not seeing much there. I don't know how deep this. Actually, no, that's a lot. There's a lot there, like a hell of a lot there. It just gets further and deeper into it, and again, looking beautiful, looking absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's used the same graphics in a few different things, but it is looking nice, isn't it? How far does it go? A lot. There's an awful lot of research that we can do. Anyway, let's just go back and just click on back in through here. So we'll do asteroid mining to start with, I think. So we'll just double click that one. We then also have the idle colony. Now this looks similar to the previous way that it used to work. I would love to see these with a bit more variation rather than it just looking the way it did. Or even sort of like, even the old GalCiv 3 I used to think looked quite good, the way it sort of did work. Whereas this is very much just like almost like a Catan game. If you've ever played Settlers of Catan, it sort of feels like a board game. And that does get in the way of the immersion a little bit. So we are sort of still finding similar sorts of things into here. Like if I do go and click on that one, we're going to then sort of see what else there is around it. I won't go into any sort of real depth with that one. Is that one going to give us... This one we do have the Betatron Collider. So this is already an improvement. You've got +1 to food in through those sorts of areas. I'm just trying to find something that's giving bonuses around it. Oh, here we go. This should have different bonuses. So Entertainment District would have a... yep, actually, what would that one do? Just go back into here. Manufacturing District, not really going to help us much. Let's just go into here and I'll just build like a... actually, this is not... I want a food... I'll probably want a food one in through this side as well. Planes, +1 to research... Manufacturing. Let's just make a manufacturing district in through this side. I haven't looked at all as to what these... there's the bonus actually from that particular one there. Get +1 to population. Lakes, +1 to approval. Deserts, nothing much really there. Snuggler colony back in through here. That's very similar to GalCiv 3. Let's just throw the manufacturing district in there for now. And these are the citizens that we actually have. So next citizen in 21 turns, we've got 5 of 9, so we can have 9 on the actual planet itself. They're all pretty happy. So we can do different sorts of things. These are Altarians. They've got Jules Lee. So I guess that over time, these are the ones that will then have different ways of working. These must be like the controllers of certain sorts of other citizens with the Altarans. I haven't checked to see how the leaders of the colony sort of are selected at all. So this is all very, very new to me, but you can click on these and then train as a divine empath. So let's just do that. Why not? And we'll train this one as a farmer. So we'll just get some. We'll just do that and leave the others with manufacturing. I haven't played with this at all, so I don't know what I'm doing with that one. But I just wanted to have a bit of a look and see how they sort of then do work and what that then over time would actually then add to the actual game itself. Nothing much in here that we can do, I don't think. It's just really summarising what we're seeing. It's just done, and this is pretty much the end of the turn. So what I'll do is if I just end the turn through here, it will then just go back to the next one. Executive orders are available to enact. So if we have a bit of a look at that one down through here, so we have draft colonists. Sometimes we can't afford to wait for volunteers. This will provide a free colony ship. We have the telescope takeover. So private corporations have advanced survey equipment which can be put to immediate use, so reveal an area of the map, or print money. Let's just do that for now. Spend 20 control to execute print money. This is new. I haven't seen this before in the game. If we just end our turn again, it'll then just continue on, and eventually that one will then just go across and settle in that particular location. The others are all on auto. That one is actually trying to take this particular artifact. So that's good. in our turn. I'll just see if we can get some sort of resolution here. Colonize planets. So Maruli 1. I don't remember it having the omblats and the accents and things like this that you have on the lettering. So that's interesting. We'll go yes. So cutscenes again. Maybe this is why the actual size is so big, because of this video content, which I don't think the game really needs, but it's looking nice. It does look very, very good. First colony. Just click on done. So we've got the study the precursor elevator. I won't read all this stuff. Let's just go and do the first one, whatever that happens to be. There we go. First anomaly surveyed as well. This is now a new colony for us. And so this game is very much about trying to expand as quickly as you can. This is a real 4X game in that sort of sense, like explore, expand, what is it? Exploit and exterminate, or exterminate and exploit. So assign a leader to govern. So we need to get a leader in through there. Now, how do we do that? I've got no idea. So the governors, how do we do that one? Precursor elevator, assign governor. Okay, here we go. So this is now where the game will start to shine, I think. And I won't spend too much time with this one, but we do actually have a few of them in through this side. This is the loyalty, as a leader's opinion of you. So we'd be not wanting to have any of these guys. This one does actually have +3 deception, so manipulative. This is going to be cool. This is looking exciting. Like it's not overblown, but I can see that just with the interaction of the stats, even in a spreadsheet system, this is going to work very, very nicely. Well, he's obviously the main choice, so let's just go with him. We won't make it anything. We'll just recruit and assign. Done. And then this is the next world as well. That's sort of then coming back through. We've got a precursor elevator back in through there. Let's just go back to planes, and we'll just do another manufacturing district until we can sort of get research and things set up. Then we'll just sort of start there. Again, I'm not really sort of focusing too much on that one. So Tase Dordi. I wonder if we can actually change his. I don't know if we can change his titles and things. Anyway, this is a really, really nice planet actually. So very, very good planet. And we just click on done. So, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. So we're not really going to be playing much of this one, but I did want to have a bit of a look at the game and just sort of show just how beautiful it actually does look. It looks beautiful. Now, we actually have a worker through here, Murden Jackson. Yeah, wow, this is looking good. Yeah. Now, if we go back to Altaria, yeah, we've got all of these other ones that we had there before. And what they do, and I guess that they're going to have different. Yeah, see the approval. This one's 58. This one's at 71. This one's at 66. So we've got all these. Like this one here is really quite happy at 77. The others are just meh. So with different sorts of things impacting what they want. So I can see again. This is looking very, very interesting. Anyway, I will leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. By the way, I keep on forgetting to thank my Patreon supporters. Thanks, guys, again, for just the amazing support that you've given me over the years. I really do appreciate it enormously, and I always forget to thank you. I mean to do it particularly at the start of any sort of series to at least talk about it. I tend to get too tied up in the series after I get started, but I really do appreciate the support. Also, if you do like the content, please consider liking and subscribing. That is another way to help support my channel. It certainly, again, just helps with the algorithm for YouTube. It sort of helps to promote, what's happening and where we actually are. But I haven't really gone through at all. I was more interested in just showing just how nice the game looks. And it does, for me, like I guess people are saying, it just looks like GalCiv 3. For me, it really doesn't. It's so much nicer. The level of detail, and quite often these videos just don't really capture that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope it sort of whet your appetite. Negatives for this game at this stage really are just that it is only on the Epic Game Store. I know that will be a big stumbling block for many of you, and of course I don't know about the tactical combat. I hope that they do something with tactical combat in this game. It's sort of it would be such an awesome game with tactical combat in it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.